Original selling position. A valid photo ID is required for all non-recipient returns. H&M reserves the right to refuse excessive non-recipient returns. All other return guidelines apply. For a complete listing of the H&M return policy, please visit our website at www.hm.com or contact customer service at hm.com with any questions or comments. H&M.
And we'll find a freeze?
Yeah.
We'll find a freeze frame. And when she starts reading, that'll fade.
Okay. Do you want me to, when I drop this, do you just want to go ahead and pick this up? Or do you guys
Throw it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And then grab her by the foot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so leave this on stage and I'm gonna clear this out and then when I come back I just go.
And then
National Security Decision Memorandum 93. Declassified National Security Council. Top secret, sensitive, eyes only, Washington, D.C. To Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Director, Office of Emergency Preparedness, Director of Central Intelligence, Subject, Policy towards Chile. Following the discussion at the meeting of the National Security Council on November 6, 1970, the President has decided
when you
that
get pulled through the curtains, you're gonna get up and just walk back on stage.
You're off stage.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm off stage, gotcha. And so when I walk back, do I go to the table?
You go to the table and you put it down and
And we start.
then you go back and forth. Yeah.
Following the discussion at the meeting of the National Security Council on November 6, 1970, the President has decided that the basis for our policy toward Chile will be the concepts underlying option C of the interagency paper submitted November 3, 1970 by the Department of State for the consideration of the National Security Council as outlined in the guidelines set out below.
The President has decided, 1. The public policy of the United States will be correct but cool to avoid giving an agenda government the basis on which a rally domestic and international support for consultation of the regime, but that 2. The United States will seek to maximize pressures on the Allende government to prevent consolidation and limit its ability to implement policies contrary to U.S. and hemisphere interests.
Specifically, the President has directed that within the context of a publicly cool and correct posture toward Chile,
vigorous efforts are undertaken to assure that the government in Latin America understand fully that the U.S. opposes consolidation of the communist state in Chile hostile to the interests of the United States and other hemisphere nations.
and to the extent of possible, encourage them to adopt a similar posture.
Close consultation be established with key governments in Latin America, particularly Brazil and Argentina, to coordinate efforts to oppose Chilean movements which may be contrary to our mutual interest. In pursuit of this objective, efforts should be increased to establish and maintain close relations with friendly military leaders in the hemisphere.
Necessary actions be taken to A. Exclude to the extent possible further financing assistance or guarantees for U.S. private investment in Chile, including those related to the Investment Guarantee Program or the operations of Export-Import Bank.
B. Determine the extent to which existing guarantees and financing arrangements can be determined or reduced.
C. Bring maximum feasible influence to bear in international financial institutions to limit credit or other financing assistance to Chile. In this connection, efforts should be made to coordinate with and gain maximum support for this policy from other friendly nations, particularly those in Latin America, with the objective of lessening unilateral U.S. exposure. And
D. Assure U.S. private business interests having investments or operations in Chile are made aware of the concern which the U.S. government views the government of Chile and the restrictive nature of policies which the U.S. government intends to follow.
no new bilateral economic aid commitments be undertaken with government of Chile. Programs of a humanitarian or private social agency character will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Existing commitments will be fulfilled, but ways in which, if the U.S. desires to do so, they could be reduced, delayed, should be examined.
The President has directed that the Director of the Office of Emergency Preparedness prepare a study which sets forth implications of possible developments in world copper markets, stockpile disposal actions, and other factors that may affect the marketing of Chilean copper and our relationships with Chile.
The President also has directed that the Senior Review Group meet monthly or more frequently as necessary to consider specific policy issues within the framework of this general posture, to report actions which have been taken, and to present him to further specific policy questions which may require his decision. To facilitate this process, the President has directed the establishment of an ad hoc interagency working group comprising representatives of the Secretaries of State and Defense, the Director of Central Intelligence, and the President's Assistant for National Security Affairs, and chaired by the representative of the Secretary of State, to prepare options for specific courses of action related to action plans for the consideration of the Senior Review Group and to coordinate implementation of approved courses of action.
Henry Kissinger.